Morning, Math Marines. This is Mr. Friedline here on Monday, October 11th. We have 8 problems here to do tonight. No BCRs, ECRs, or mathematics, so that's why there are 8 focused problems, because I need to get you guys practicing on some of these test-like questions. First thing I'm going to be asked to do today is to convert the following fractions into percents. So let me do the first one for you. It says 2/3 right there, and this, like you might remember, is our irregular fractions. So we got to turn an irregular fraction kind of like 2/3, because 2/3 we know is going to be a repeating decimal. So it's irregular. It's going to give us a little bit of problems. We got to turn this into a percent. So the first thing we have to do with things like that is we have to make sure that we put them in long division form, so we can change them into a decimal first. So we go 3 goes into 2, and I'm going to add some zeros here and some decimal points. 3 goes into 2 0 times. We knew that because there's no whole number right here, so there can't be a whole number right there. But 3 goes into 20 6 times. And I get 6 times 3 is 18. And I get a 2 back. When I bring down a 0, well, I'm just going to end up with my 20 again. I got another 20 right here. 3 goes into 20 6 times again. So usually we'd be done right there. We'd say that 2/3 is equal to 0.6 repeating. Here's the problem with that if we're doing percents. If I gave you 0.6 repeating and I said turn this into a percent, you'd say, well, all I have to do is just move the decimal point 1, 2 places to the right, put a decimal point, a 0, and I can get rid of my old decimal point, and that's got to be my new 60%. Well, here's the problem with that. 6 repeating means it's just going to go 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 forever. So I can write this as 0.666, and it's just going to go on like that. This is, remember, how we have to write these. I have to go out to at least 3 places right here, because I'm going to go 1, 2, and put my new decimal place between those 2. So my new answer is going to be this. 66.6 repeating percent. You have to make sure that you go all the way to the 10th place, because you have to know what happens in the ones. You have to know what happens in the tens. But whatever's happening in the 10th place, that's really small. So if I know that that's going to start repeating, then I'm good to go. So if your answer for number 1 is going to be 2/3 is equal to 3 into 2. You get 0.6 repeating, and when I work that out, I go 1, 2 to the right, and I get 66.6 repeating percent. Let's take a look at our next problem. These are problems that we saw back in our other unit. We were converting decimals into fractions. I just want to make sure we remember how to do this. So I have 0.66 that I'm going to convert into a fraction. Sounds kind of like the same thing. I got 66.6%. Well, let's just go with 0.66. I want to change this into a fraction. Well, if I'm going to do that, then I have to make sure I know what place value I'm working in. That's where my decimal terminates, so I know it's not a repeating decimal anymore. It's a terminating decimal. It terminates right there, and that is the hundredths place. It's the hundredths place. It's like having a fraction over 100. So I'm just going to take 0.66, and I'm going to write this as a whole number. I'm going to write it as a whole number, just 66, over my ending place value. So my ending place value is in the hundredths place, so I'm going to put it over 100. And now I have to take this and simplify it. So I know that I got an even number over an even number, so I'm going to try dividing by 2, and I bet you that's going to work. If I divide by 2, 66 divided by 2 is going to give me 33. And 100 divided by 2, it's like if I have $1 and I give half that dollar to somebody, how much do I have? Well, I'm only going to have 50 cents. 100 divided by 2 is 50. 33 divided by 50, I know I can't divide 3 into 50. I know I can't divide 11 into 50, and that seems to be the only 2 real factors that I'm going to get out of this one. So I'm pretty sure that 33 over 50 is my final answer. Just to recap, if I have 0.66, whatever place value that the decimal terminates in, you'll write that over that place value as a whole number. And then simplify. Final answer, box it up, good to go. Any questions? Let me know. Good luck with the homework tonight.